give them compensation for the rich according to his means, and I think for the constrained according to his means.
Good.
I wasn't sure how to translate this bit, mata'an.
Yeah, so mata'an, an enjoyment or something to enjoy.
According to custom, a right or a duty on the one who did, on the ones who do good.
Good.
Sorry, this last bit here from wa mati'unna, slightly confused. Do you stop there and say wa mati'unna? That's one sentence. That's one jumla.
Yeah.
You can stop there.
So matti'uhunna, and then you got that mata'an. Matti'uhunna mata'an bil ma'ruf.
Right. So
Or if you don't make that the same one, then you have hidden before mata'an another fi'l.
right. But and so the rest of this then. Al-Musi is Jar Majrur Mutalik to Thabitun. That's, we said, is that Khabar Muqaddam,
Yeah.
right?
So al-musi'i khabar muqaddam qadaruhu
Mudaf Mudaf ilayh. I wasn't sure what that becomes,
mubtada muakhar.
but that's just a
And
Mubtada.
al-muqtadi khabar muqaddam qadaruhu mubtada muakhar.
Oh, so it's two separate jumlas, right?
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't get it. Okay,
Okay, so أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والوالدات يرضعن أولادهن حولين كاملين لمن أراد أن يتم الرضاعة وعلى المولود له رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف لا تكلف نفس إلا وسعها لا تضار والدة بولدها ولا مولود له بولده وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك فإن أراد فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم إذا سلمتم ما آتيتم بالمعروف واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بما تعملون بصير. Okay, so وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ. So after Allah mentions regarding issues to do with divorce, now some more issues that are going to come up, which is the children. So وَالْوَالِدَاتُ, the mothers, Allah says, should breastfeed their children for 2 whole years. For the ones لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَن يُتِمَّ الرَّضَاعَ, for those who wish to breastfeed them. In other words, anyone who wants to maximize breastfeeding, the maximum they can breastfeed their children is for 2 complete years, 24 months. Yeah. And this is why the scholars generally say that a mother cannot breastfeed her child after 2 years. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah says you can do it from up to 2.5 years. 2 years what the Quran says, and 6 months extra to wean the child off. Because sometimes you can't stop after 2 years. Yeah, so 6 months should be sufficient. So, liman arada an yutim al-rada. Whoever wants to. If someone doesn't want to breastfeed for 2 entire years, fine. Someone wants to do 1 year, fine. Someone wants to do 1 month, fine. Someone doesn't want to breastfeed, it's fine. Won't be sinful.
Is there a different amount for young boys than girls? No.
No. وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And who's responsible for the mothers of the children? The fathers are. Allah says, Al-Mawlud lahu. Mawlud lahu is like another way of saying the fathers. It's necessary upon the fathers to provide. Rizquhunna, hunna goes back to the women. The rizq, the sustenance, maintenance of the women. Wa kiswatuhunna, and their clothing, bil ma'roof, in the customary fashion. Whatever the customary fashion is, what kind of clothes they wear in that society, whatever amount of sustenance they need, maybe they need a mobile phone, maybe they need this, maybe they need that. Whatever normally the women in that society have, they need to get that for them. Why? Because these mothers are the ones who are going to be breastfeeding their children. So they can't be going out and working. Who's going to be taking care of the children? So because they're busy taking care of the children, the fathers are responsible for providing for them. Now, Allah by saying mawlud lahu, the ulama take from this that the child belongs to the father. It was born for him. Mawlud lahu. And if Allah had said mawlud laha, that would have meant the child belongs to the mother. Okay, so this is why the father is responsible for the child and he provides the mother for this. La tukallafu nafsun illa wus'aha. The next question comes, maybe there's a woman who wants lots of money. She wants lots of, expenditure. Allah says no. La tukallafu nafsun illa wus'aha. No soul will be burdened beyond its, except according to its capacity. So whatever the man's capacity is to provide for the woman, that's what he's going to provide. If it's too much, they'll go to the court. The judge will say, we'll look at how much he can provide, and that's how much he'll have to stipulate. Okay, now sometimes what happens is husband and wife don't get on. They might have separated. So the wife might use the child as a means of harming the husband. She's getting back at the husband and using the child as a means to harm him, depriving him of seeing the child, or even telling the child not to listen to the father. Or it might happen, the opposite might happen, where the father is the one who is using the child to deprive the mother, emotionally blackmailing her or harming her. Or this can happen if you take the majhul form, that other people in the family, not the husband necessarily, other people in the family, the in-laws or maybe, they are trying to harm the mother through the child. Or maybe even the woman's side, their family, they're trying to harm the husband through the child. So Allah says no, this is totally wrong. Using the child as a means of trying to get back at each other, this is out of order, this is not allowed. وَعَلَى الْوَارِثِ مِثْلُ ذَلِكَ. Now, عَلَى الْوَارِثِ مِثْلُ ذَلِكَ means that if the husband is not there, then the inheritors of the husband must provide for this mother, the mother who is breastfeeding the children. She needs to be provided for. Husband's dead, so who's going to provide now? The inheritors are going to provide now. Okay. Then Allah says, husband and wife, they decide they don't want to breastfeed. Maybe the wife, she isn't able to express enough milk, or maybe she finds it very difficult. So what can they do? So they both mutually agree. Allah says, in arada tathniya. If they both, husband and wife, agree, fisalan, to stop breastfeeding. I made a mistake. It's not they decide to breastfeed the woman up. They decide now they want to stop. After maybe a year, they've realized, you know what, let's give it solid foods now. So they both do mashwara, an taradin, mutual agreement. Tarada, yatarada, taradin means to mutually agree. Wa tashawurin, and mutual consultation. Because sometimes the wife wants to stop the child, but the husband doesn't want to. Sometimes the husband might want to stop, but the wife doesn't want to. So Allah says, no, both of you agree, sit down, talk about it, and come to some sort of agreement. So in arada fisalan, if they want to wean the child off based on mutual agreement and mashwara or consultation, fala junaha alayhim, there's no sin upon them too. Meaning, husband and wife, there's no sin for them to stop. Okay, what if they don't want to stop, but the woman can't express milk? Then what? Allah says, وَإِنْ أَرَدْتُمْ أَن تَسْتَرْضِعُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ. If you want to get a wet nurse involved, a third woman, to breastfeed, تَسْتَرْضِعُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ. It's fine, no sin upon you, you can do that, it's allowed Islamically. You can get another woman, maybe her milk is healthy for the child, maybe her diet is good, maybe she lives in the wilderness and she has healthy milk. So then, إِذَا سَلَّمْتُمْ مَا آتَيْتُمْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, so long as you give her the amount, her wage, which is customary. Whatever the normal wage is for a woman who breastfeeds children in that society, that's what you should give her. So it's like a contract. So you're using her services, so you should pay her. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, and fear Allah. Because end of the day, you could cheat in the contract. You could cheat with the spouse. You could cheat the children. You could harm the spouse through the children. Allah says, fear Allah. وَأَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. End of the day, Allah is the one who is watching everything that you people do. So don't try to cheat the system. You might be getting away with it for a few years, but Allah will expose everything on the Day of Judgment as well. Anyway, next masla issue is this now. So now children are out of the way. What if the husband dies? This is very likely. Husband may die. If the husband dies, what happens to the wife? What's her situation? وَالَّذِينَ يَتَوَفَّوْنَ مِنْكُمْ وَيَذَرُونَ أَزْوَاجًا. Those of you whose husband has left them. وَالَّذِينَ يَتَوَفَّوْنَ مِنْكُمْ وَيَذَرُونَ أَزْوَاجًا. Those of you who die and leave behind spouses. In other words, you leave behind widows. يَتَرَبَّصْنَ. They must stay on their own. بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ. On their own meaning unmarried. أَرْبَعَةَ أَشْهُرٍ وَعَشْرٍ. 4 months and 10 days. So exactly 4 months and 10 days they must stay alone. And the hadith mentions that they have to stay in the premises of where the husband used to live. In those premises. Unless there is fear for her life or some other situation, then she can move. Otherwise she has to stay there. She's not allowed to travel about anywhere, go places. She has to stay there. فَإِذَا بَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ. Okay, what if the 4 months and 10 days is now expiring now, and this woman has a desire to get married again? Then what? It says, إِذَا بَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ. When they reach their end term period of 4 months and 10 days. فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ. There is no sin upon you فِيمَا فَعَلْنَا فِي أَنفُسِهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Regarding whatever these women do with themselves, meaning after the woman's time is finished, now she can go get married. She wants to leave the house, she wants to go to another house, she wants to get married to another man, that's totally fine, as long as it's according to the customary way. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. And Allah is all aware of the hidden things. So previously is basir, because breast milk or breastfeeding and all those things to do with things that are done physically, you can see. Whereas a woman whose husband dies, sometimes the family of the husband will kind of say to her, don't get married again. It's not good for you to get married again. Or they might like kind of discourage her from moving from the house, make her feel bad. Maybe there's kids involved as well. So Allah knows the hidden things. In other words, don't try to hide anything from Allah. Allah is all aware of this. Okay, now within these 4 months and 10 days, obviously there's going to be men who are going to be interested in this woman. Husband dies, there's going to be some men in the community who are interested, they want to marry her. So how does that work then? What should they do? Allah says, وَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي مَا عَرَّضْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْ خِطْبَةِ النِّسَاءِ. There is no sin upon you men who are interested in her. فِي مَا عَرَّضْتُمْ بِهِ مِنْ خِطْبَةِ النِّسَاءِ. خِطْبَةِ النِّسَاء means proposal. So there is no sin if any man wishes to propose to this woman. But عَرَّضْتُمْ. Arrada means to do it implicitly. Like for example, maybe the man will go to the house, or maybe his mother will go to the house, or maybe his sister will go to the house, or whoever goes, and they kind of throw hints in. MashaAllah, imagine you got married to a husband like me. Yeah. Or the mother goes and says, you would make such a good match for my husband, and you will live in our house together, and So throwing hints in, that's allowed. So to throw hints in is allowed, but to officially propose is not allowed. You can't officially propose, because then that goes against the whole concept of bereavement. 4 months and 10 days.
Oh, sorry, this is during the 4 months.
4 months and 10 days.
Oh, right, okay.
أو أكننتم في أنفسكم. Or those desires that you hide inside yourselves. So there might be a man who's really interested in this woman. This is an amazing woman. Yeah, she's a very good woman, and lots of men are interested in her, marrying her. So they're thinking to themselves, you know what? Before someone else comes, let's just throw a few words in. Yeah, that's fine. But you can't do it explicitly, no. So Allah says, Allah knows this. عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ سَتَذْكُرُونَهُنَّ. Allah knows that you are going to mention these women. At home, you're going to be speaking to your family, your sister, or your mother, or someone. You know what? That woman's a widow now, isn't it? Yeah. So, these kind of things. سَتَذْكُرُونَهُنَّ.
After 4 months, 10.
Within 4 months, 10 days.
Yeah.
You can talk about it.
Yeah.
But you can't say explicit to her that, are you interested in me?
But after that period, you can.
After 4 months and 10 days, you can say to her. Yeah, it's fine. So, وَلَكِنْ لَا تُوَاعِدُهُنَّ سِرًّا. However, do not promise her secretly, like text her, or secretly go to her and say to her, you know what, look, don't worry. Yeah, openly we're going to be saying like this and that, we don't know each other. But you know what, after 4 months and 10 days, yeah, royal banqueting, yeah, yeah, so I booked it. Okay, so don't do those. Allah says don't do those. Yeah. لا تواعدوهن سرا secretly. إلا أن تقولوا قولا معروفا. Unless you say something which is recognized in the community, something which is according to the custom. In other words, it's not something which is looked down upon. Yeah, not trying to flirt with her or something. Don't do that. Just say openly, say it like that. وَلَا تَعْزِمُوا عُقْدَةَ النِّكَاحِ, and do not have a firm resolution. Yeah, do not make a firm intention of tying the knot, not of nikah. Until the period, the 4 months and 10 days. The kitab refers to 4 months and 10 days. Because it's like a written down rule, kitab. Until it reaches its end period. So once it reaches 4 months and 10 days, then go and get married to them, it's fine. وَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. Look, Allah has created you. He knows you've got desires. He knows you've got feelings. That's fine. But put restrictions on there for a little while. Yeah, control yourself for a little while. So Allah knows this. فَاحْذَرُوا. Be very wary of Allah. Save yourself from the punishment of Allah. وَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ حَلِيمٌ. And know that Allah is all forgiving, all tolerant, yeah, all forbearing. So the whole point of this is, this woman is supposed to be showing that she's grieving regarding her husband. So in this period, if you're going around and saying to her, oh, let's marry, she's gonna obviously then do the opposite of what she's supposed to be doing. So this is why this isn't allowed.
Why this period of 4 months and 10 days?
So Allah has chosen 4 months and 10 days. So in the days of Jahiliyyah, what used to happen was that when a woman's husband died, she had to go inside of a kennel, a little hut, and she was not allowed to take a bath or change her clothes for 1 entire year. And after 1 entire year, what would happen is they would bring a bird or a small animal, put it next to her genitals, and if the animal died because of the stench, then they would get a piece of manure, put her onto a donkey and throw the manure at her. Yeah, and then after that she was allowed to take a bath and wear new clothes and get married. Yeah, that was the Jahiliyyah ritual. So when Islam came, Islam got rid of this. Islam removed all this. So there seems to be some hikmah, wisdom in 4 months and 10 days. We don't know. Allah knows best what this wisdom is. But this is what Allah has told us. Just like Allah has told us not to eat pork. We don't know why. Allah tells us to pray 5 times salat. Why not 6? Why not 10? Why not 15?
Could it be because in case the woman's pregnant?
We don't know. I mean, you don't take 4 months, 10 days to find out she's pregnant. Okay. So this is the rule generally. However, if the woman is pregnant, then her period finishes when she delivers the child. There's a difference of opinion amongst the Sahaba regarding this. So some say 4 months, 10 days. Some say no, the longer of the 2 periods. And some say no, when the child is delivered. And this is supported by a hadith where a woman came to the Prophet ﷺ and said that I delivered a child after my husband died after 23 or 25 days. And now I want to get married. Is that okay? And the Prophet said, yes, it's fine. So as soon as she delivers the child, even if it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days after the husband dies, her iddah, her waiting period's over. She doesn't have to follow the 4 months and 10 days. Okay. Now, next masla. Well, actually, next masla has to do with, I want to leave this for next because it's connected to the other ones. So we'll leave that there. Gee, any questions? Okay, so come on. What did you learn?
The divorce women, this one is the both still called iddah. No.
Yeah, idda is just a waiting period. Idda, adda ya'uddu, idda.
Whether the husband dies or if the woman's divorce is the same. It's
Yeah,
the same
if the husband dies, like we said for 1 days, if the husband divorces her, ثلاثة قروء.
If you have an illah before an an, then there's a hidden fi kulli halin.
Yeah, so if you have an an after illa, then you have to have that hidden in every condition, fi kulli hal. Ji.
Before bil ma'roof.